Hello, ladies and gents. I'm back again. So, one thing that I really wanted to kind of talk about right now is a lot of speculation that's going towards the next expansion, specifically towards how classes will work, how leveling will work, and Soul So Breezy, who isn't really my favorite guy in the first place, has made a video about leveling changes, and so I figured we'll kind of talk about the leveling changes because I'm fairly certain that some of the things he's talking about were already addressed by the World of Warcraft developers, and so right now he's doing what he normally does, which is I don't know, man. He normally likes to do the whole like, oh guys, you're freaking out too much, and now he's talking about this. So I don't know if Blizzard just didn't send him the check for the Diablo Immortal like grandstanding that he was doing, but we will. Ooh, ooh, wait.
Even faster if I tried, but taking a few
Okay,
days
there
to
we go.
level a new character isn't exactly my idea of killing time. At least, it wouldn't be under the current Shadowlands leveling system. You know, when you start on the faction island place, and then you get to level 10, and then you choose your expansion, then you level through like a zone and a half, maybe, before.
I haven't really chosen to do Exile's Reach yet. So that's I might need to do that at some point, but I'm not seeing a need to do it. I don't have any characters below level 10 right now. I think I still need to level a Lightforged Draenei and a Mechanome. Like I've still got allied races to do, but otherwise I'm set.
Before reaching level 50, and then off you go to the Shadowlands. Each level in the current island place, and then you get to level
Hang
10,
on a
and
minute.
then you choose your expansion, then you level through like a zone and a half, maybe, before reaching level 50, and then off you go to the Shadow.
Have you played this? Have you done any leveling at all this expansion? I don't think you have, because you're saying you get to level 10 and then you do like a zone and a half and then you're good. No, God, no. I had to level my warrior, and I can tell you right now, it was not a zone and a half. Like that's no, no, kind of little disappointing there, bud. Little disappointing. But I shouldn't be surprised. That's I just we need to continue. We need to continue.
Shadowlands. Each level in the current iteration, you automatically get a thing. It just gets thrown onto your bars. Maybe it makes your buttons change a little bit, but you don't even know about it until like way later sometimes. Now,
No, that you no. That's when you level. It pops up on the screen, and it shows you, hey, new ability, and it glows in your spellbook until you check it out. What?
I know that there's a loud crowd out there who want leveling to be fast because, well, their goal isn't to recapture an epic leveling experience, it's to get that out of the way. And the faster, the better. I totally get that.
And guess what? It's a valid way to play. So is what you were saying. Recapture an epic leveling experience. That's a valid way to play too. In fact, the leveling changes that we've experienced recently allow you to do that. It's it's almost like it's almost like they kind of made it to where you can do the end game of an expansion as leveling content now. I know, I know. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy, Soul. I know. What? I'm just saying. It's it's what's there, man. It's what's there.
But I think the WoW team leaned towards that crowd just a little bit too hard. I question whether leveling feels very good these days. Now, it is fast. It
Should
does
it?
give you something each time that you level, but
Yeah.
does it feel good? It's a very subjective discussion there, and I invite you to share your thoughts.
My thoughts on whether or not leveling feels good right now is very simple. Um, it is what it is. It's leveling. I would prefer that it feel how it does right now compared to how it used to feel, because as much as you might love the idea of recapturing that epic leveling moment, you have to also keep in mind that it's repetitive, right? That's why the leveling has been broken down to so many zones, and you can do bonus stuff, because going in and collecting 10 logs, then killing 10 boars isn't fun. If you want to level for the story experience, congratulations. You can still do so and just level through it. It's fast enough because guess where all the new content is? It is not at the low levels. I don't think that you can go through a zone and a half and be at level 50. In fact, I feel like I should test that out. And I'm going to. Because it, I don't understand how you can sit there and say that when it's so blatantly wrong. I really do like the little dragon that he has in the corner, because I think I have the same one, or I got the same one for one of my friends when we went to Barnes and Noble. But I don't know, man. This is kind of reiterating why I don't like this. And for those of you who think this is a new video, May 25th. Well, it's about a month old, I guess. May 25th. Not really a month old, but it's getting up there.
I don't think a new race being introduced now, before Dragonflight, before 10.0, would do the game any favors. The new Drakthir race.
It wouldn't do any harm? Like, what are you talking about? Wouldn't do the game any favors? It, how is adding a new race hurting it? Ooh, you have another starting zone. Oh no. You have an excuse to level a character. Oh no. What?
Race in Dragonflight, that happens to be a hero class. So with a starting level of 58 or so, they have no business in doing previous expansion content. That means only characters made after the 10.0 pre-patch will enjoy what's to come with leveling from scratch. Now, of course, with no alpha client to demonstrate any of this, we're just gonna have to use our imaginations as I try my best to inform you of why Dragonflight leveling is going to be very, very different and potentially very, very awesome. So here's what we know. Veteran players will slam the 1 through 10 experience in their home zone or on Exile's Reach. At level 10, they can then choose any of the previous expansion contents, including Shadowlands, and then progress to Dragonflight stuff at level 60. Players on brand new accounts will also have the same-ish experience as right now, with 1 through 10 on Exile's Reach, 10 to 60 in Battle for Azeroth, and then off to Dragonflight. It's easy to guess why BFA is still the new player.
I might need to check that, because I'm fairly certain that is very incorrect. I'm almost guaranteeing that's incorrect, actually. Well, surprisingly, he's right about that. It kind of makes sense, because BFA is the last time that anything mattered, whereas currently Shadowlands doesn't Shadowlands is pointless towards the story for Dragonflight. Like, we can literally just ignore Shadowlands. And everyone, including this guy's like, it's not a filler expansion. That's the literal definition of a filler expansion.
Template, like story-wise, it's just a much stronger follow-up to the likes of Exile's Reach.
Yep.
You know, with the whole premise of faction conflict.
Yeah, it was designed that way, right? Exile's Reach was, if I remember right, designed in BFA.
It's very thematic, as opposed to what you leave Exile's Reach and then suddenly you're escaping World of Warcraft hell with characters who you never met. The regular familiarity ends here, though, thanks to Dragonflight's changes, at least. At level 10, classes will unlock the new talent system. This is comprised of the class tree on the left, which allows for a bit of hybrid.
So, very, very important to note that some of these abilities are different than what we see in the actual tree that we have and we're testing out right now. Right? This is not the tree that we actually have. Because these abilities over here and these abilities over here, they're in the talents, but in reality, they're gone. So I don't know what they're actually for. Now you can see that a lot of it is the same as what we have, but I don't know. I'm ready. That looks like the actual talent UI in the game, which could explain a couple things. But I'm. Is it because of the choices? No, it's not because of the choices. I don't know. I could look at that stuff all day.
And the spec tree on the right, which lets one customize their specializations, whatever they are. In a way, the tree on the left lets a druid, for example, do some off-tanking, even if they happen to be a resto spec. The tree on the right lets that resto druid focus more on single target healing, or burst AoE, and that sort. Each time the player levels, they're going to get 1 point.
That's very poor explanation, because I really don't think you're going to be off-tanking. I can almost guarantee that you will not be off-tanking even with that tree. And that's not like, oh, it's single target or burst AoE. No, this is the healing tree. You get like 1 or 2 healing abilities there, and then you get actual heals. So we have to take that into consideration. Again, it's just I don't know what I would be dealing with in terms of that. Honestly, I'm not gonna rip on him too much for that, because there are some things, like you can see these empty points in the trees where those abilities actually are.
Point per tree. As an example, at level 10, the druid is going to get 1 point that they can spend in the class tree. When they reach level 11, they get 1 point that they can spend in the spec tree. At level 12, they get a point in the class tree again, the 10.0 patch drops, and we can start screwing around. But for those who make new characters, leveling is going to feel like a brand new experience from a gameplay standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm speculating this part here, but leveling might take just a little bit longer in Dragonflight than it does in Shadowlands, thanks to the wider 10 through 60 experience that you'll get in Battle for Azeroth or Chromie Time. The idea that players will get something every level will survive the Dragonflight expansion changes thanks to talent points. Something that I think was compromised in WoW since Mists of Pandaria was the notion of celebrating each level gained by, stopping for a moment to see what the heck you got while leveling, and then making a selection to activate. Today we get, as I mentioned before, like a preset ability, we get a talent, or an upgrade of one or the other. In Dragonflight, we're going to get a choice and a prompt to click a thing. Like, what do I put this point into? Am I going to go straight down because I want that certain ability, or should I head back to the top to try some other path? Some levels won't do that because, you're trying to pump like multiple points into a thing. I totally get that. But that opportunity is there to select between different options, or even trying out something totally different. Let's say that you're trying to optimize while leveling. let's say you're that kind of person, and at level 42 or something, you'll be able to get the earliest access to a very strong ability or some synergy, but before you got there, you might have had a totally different build. At the moment, the WoW team has insisted that there will be very few barriers to respecking, so I figure at your next chance you'll go back to a rest area somewhere out on the field or back in town, you hit a button to reset all your talents, and then you redistribute and try again. And I'm 100% guilty of that practice. Even if it's something as simple sounding as leveling in the World of Warcraft, we can choose to slap points into like whatever and not give a second thought. Sure, we can go for karma points and not make any talent selections like, hey, look at me, I leveled without a single point and here's what happened.
New double agent. New double agent. I will level without talent points.
Find it very cool and liberating that we can choose any of these options and make the leveling experience ours. Some would say that the trees are big. And yeah, they sort of are. I mean, it's 18 years worth of World of Warcraft minus premium for a level 60 character on the...
It's not, though. It's not. I mean, one of those talents that takes up 3 points is literally just healing and damage increase. Come on. It's not. It's fluff.
The first day of patch 10.0, yeah, this can and probably will feel overwhelming. I trust that half the players are going to be just sitting in town looking at all these damn talents or rereading them because they've been looking at talent calculators for the past couple of months. Or maybe they're slamming against target dummies experimenting or just running into Mythic Plus because YOLO. But when leveling, you just see the top rows. That's it. Followed by the next rows. Followed by the next rows. It's a very common phenomenon that we, as the audience, look at this whole shebang and think, dude, whoa, this is a lot to handle.
I don't think, I don't know, because you're talking about this in the way of, hey, we look at this, it's a lot to handle. But if you've played the game for even a little bit, and you understand it past the surface level, which is, it's not possible for a lot of the current player base because they're just dumb. It's not going to be that big. Like, oh, we just see it at the top. No, you see what you want to check out, right? Like, oh, do you want Sunfire or Star Surge as a feral druid? Get some range pull. Does that sound fun? I don't know. I think you're infantilizing the player base a little bit, but to be fair, the player base kind of deserves it in that regard, and I can't really argue with you on it because it's just truth. That's all it is. I don't know. I'm not really disagreeing with Soul a lot here, but he's kind of making a mountain out of molehills.
But it's only being presented to us in a slide or a video. In practice, the experience will be designed towards new players. Now, this is only...
Okay. Stop. Stop right now. It's nothing to do with the video. It's the cuts. Stop with the jump cuts. Stop it. You're reminding me of the reveal video. Stop it.
That I recall off the top of my head, but one won't be able to just shoot straight down to the very bottom of the tree. You're going to have to put a number of points in before rows open up. So I'm going to argue fiercely that for those who level up a new class, their experience with the talent system between the almost free respecs and changing specializations and loadouts that you can save for later, the talents will not feel nearly as overwhelming as long as that player is willing to take their time and to explore their selections. Meanwhile, others have argued, what's the point of the talent system when top players are going to make their templates and videos and enforce their will on others? Now, first, we're just talking about leveling changes, okay? But since we're here, I might as well address this. It was going to happen anyway. And they're right. Top players, group leaders, and more are going to say that this particular...
I feel like I might actually end up agreeing with Soul here, but I'm gonna listen just to see, man, because if I'm agreeing with him here, it's gonna be the first time in a while.
Build is superior to the next, and this is the way to play. And, well, they're right. I mean, there will be cookie cutter templates for this one type of encounter, or this particular dungeon with the affix, or the PvP
Stop
situation.
it.
But the point of the talent system
Stop
is
it.
not exactly to make to allow a bunch of these ridiculous builds where all of them must be viable. Even the WoW team has admitted as much. That's an impossible thing to do. But their job is going to be to try. The way I see it, the point of this
Stop
talent
it.
system is to preserve the many, many options that we've gained and lost over the years from pruning or more power. After Dragonflight, it stands to reason that a few more rows will be added, another 10 points will be given to players. And there will be some bloat, no doubt, but the feedback over the past few years has been pretty resounding. WoW needs just a new system after this current one that gives and then takes and then gives and then takes again. The side effects of a cookie cutter mandate, it never went away. They've just looked different for the past couple of years. But the benefits of this talent system give room to preserve design and to teach players new things one level at a time. See, I managed to circle back to leveling. Nice. So many folks are focused on what max level builds are going to look like, and for good reason. We're all going to get there eventually, but my focus right now is leveling. I can envision the talent system doing so much.
Okay, this video is long enough. I kind of agree with them. The people that want to focus on that, yeah, they can focus on that. There's not going to be much in terms of, hey, you need to focus here. I don't know. I can't say one way or another on how I really feel about it. I mean, I can tell you how I feel about it right now, and that might be a different video. I've recorded too goddamn many, man. I just don't release them. But overall, this So So Breezy video isn't bad. I agree with him. For a lot of players, this is going to be how it works. It's not going to be anything for new players. It's going to be the returning players. The returning players are going to be worried about cookie cutter builds at max level, and it's like, So, Reese's. This isn't a terrible video, but this was also like a while ago, so I think something might have happened.